Welcome everyone to lecture number 27. Okay, so now we have discussed about rights, fundamental rights, introduction part of it. Okay, so in this lecture we are going to discuss about some global picture of fundamental right. What is the picture of fundamental rights globally? Okay, how other worlds see these fundamental rights. Okay, so proceeding ahead, global picture of fundamental right. Yeah, yes. So first first we will be discussing about England. It is nothing but UK. There is no code of fundamental rights here. No code, no code of fundamental rights are here. The foundation of individual rights in England may be said to be negative, in the sense that an individual has the right and freedom to whatever action he likes. So as long as he does not violate any rule of the ordinary law of the land, his right will be consulted. Okay, so in England, so there is nothing mentioned as any fundamental rights like as per our constitution. It is just that individual right will be there. Okay, you have all the right to do, you have all the right to do, you have everything, you can do everything to perform any activity. Okay, you are free to do. Okay, you are free to do. Till when you are free to do? Till when, unless and until you are not going to, unless and until you are not going to violate any rule of the ordinary law of the land. Unless and until you are not violating these the rule of the land, that is ordinary law of the land, you are free to do anything. Okay, so that is something present under the England. It means you can do everything unless and until that particular work or thing is prohibited by the law. Okay, let us suppose you can't do a murder. Okay, so murder is prohibited under it, so you can't perform that action, you can't perform that action. Okay, so you are free to do everything unless and until that particular work or thing is prohibited by the law. Okay, example, let us given one good example. Let us suppose if same sex marriage is done in England and arrested by the police, that is police is nothing but executive, as this is prohibited especially by law in England. Okay, so the court will protect you. Okay, the court will protect you in that case. Let us suppose legislature made same sex marriage illegal, same sex marriage illegal, then the court will not protect you. Simple thing. If it is not prohibited, let us suppose if same sex marriage is not prohibited under the law. Okay, so court is going to protect you. So if you have done any marriage also, the court is going to protect you as per that. Same sex marriage is allowed. Okay, it is not prohibited, like it is not mentioned in the law. What I am trying to tell, that let us suppose the same sex marriage is not written, like it is not prohibited as per the law. Okay, but nothing is written about same sexing in the law of the England. Okay, so same sex is, so if anyone is doing same sex marriage, so nobody is going to do, court is going to protect you, because there is nothing mentioned about this thing in the law. Okay, let us suppose in the case if the legislature have moved that thing, that the same sex marriage is illegal, then court is not going to protect you, because now this is a law. Okay, earlier there was nothing mentioned about the same sex in the law, so that's why if you are doing a same sex and any case happened on you, then court is going to protect you. But now if you, now let us suppose if the legislature has passed the law that same sex is not allowed, it is illegal, then then the court will not protect you. Courts in England can only protect people only on the arbitrary action performed by the executive, nor the arbitrary action of the legislature. Understand what I am trying to tell? That So police has arrested you because you have done. So police arrested two people. Okay, police arrested two people. Sorry, it should be same sex, right? So police arrested two people who have done same sex marriage. Okay, so now police is what? Police is nothing but is executive. Police is nothing but executive. Okay, now police arrested those couple. Okay, in that case a court will come, you can file a case, the court will come and it will protect you. When the court is going to protect? Because they have done same sex marriage. So there is nothing written about same sex marriage in the law. Okay, so in that case court is coming and protecting from you the executive action. Okay, court is going to protect you from the executive action. Let us suppose a legislature, the parliament has enacted a law in which same sex marriage is illegal. Now if police have arrested you, then court can't protect you. Then court can't protect, because now there is a law related to that has been passed by the executive. So what does it mean? That courts in England can only protect people only on the arbitrary action performed by the executive, not the arbitrary action of legislature. But in the case of India it is not so. Court can protect you from both the cases. In both the cases court can protect you. Okay, in India this is not the thing. In India court can protect from both the cases. Let us suppose if any arbitrary law has been passed by the legislature and it is violating the fundamental right of a people, then court can directly restrict that thing and you can protect you from the tyranny of the executive or the law that has been passed by the legislature. Court can make that law null and void and non-constitution. Okay, that is not present in the constitution, that is illegal law. Court can do so in India, but that case is not in England. England, if anything is mentioned under the that has been passed by the legislature, nothing can be done. Court will follow that thing only. Okay, I hope you are understanding what I am trying to explain. Okay, so even in the future, if a law made and protest in England becomes illegal, you can't perform the action. Let us suppose in the future England the law has been passed that you can't do a protest. Okay, so in future if you are going to perform a protest, it will be considered as illegal there. Okay, court will not protect you in that case. So Delolme said that the British Parliament, see, it is very funny thing that has been tell about the British Parliament, that a British Parliament can do everything. It can do everything what it is. The legislature can pass anything. If it has been passed by the legislature, it has been passed in the parliament, then it is the law of the land. Okay, anything if they passed it, nobody is going to question. But that case is not in our country. Supreme Court is there, Supreme Court is watching you. Okay, you can't do anything as per your will. Okay, but that case is not. So parliament can do anything except one thing that parliament can't do, except make a woman a man and a man to a woman. Okay, understand? Only that parliament can't do the transfer the man to the woman and woman to the man. Only this thing can't do a parliament. That has been said by the deal only. Okay. So yeah, see what power that the parliament of the British have. Okay, there is no law in England which parliament cannot change. There is nothing. In India, it is like that. We can't violate the fundamental rights. We can't frame a law that is violating a fundamental right. But there is no such thing in England. There is no law in England which parliament cannot change. No law in England that parliament cannot change. Okay, in short, there is no right which may be said to be a fundamental in the strictest sense of the term. Parliamentary supremacy is there. Okay, in short, there is no right present in UK. There is no right which may be said to be called as a fundamental in the UK. In the strictest sense, we can tell that UK have, in the strictness we can tell that UK have parliamentary supremacy. UK have parliamentary supremacy. Okay. Now we have seen England. Now we'll see US. Okay. These are the only two pictures that is a motive for us to see. Okay. So what happened in US? The framers of the Constitution of US knew that if they have to provide the rights to the people of this country, sorry, we don't have to protect the people only by the arbitrary action of the executive. Sorry, only by the arbitrary action of the executive alone, but also against the arbitrary action of the legislative also. Okay, so the American have something called a Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights is equally binding upon the legislature as well upon the executive. Is equally binding upon the legislature as upon the executive. In the UK case, we have seen that court was there to protect you, but if the legislature has framed any law, then nobody is going to protect you. But in the US, there is no such case. Bill of Rights is there, in which legislature and executive both are binded. Legislative and executive both are binded. Okay, but then where is judiciary? What about judiciary? What about judiciary? Then judiciary supremacy is in the US. Judiciary supremacy is in the US. Okay, so the courts in the US are competent to declare an act of Congress as unconstitutional on the ground of contravention of any provisions of the Bill of Rights. So court can make the law or activity as an unconstitutional on the basis of Bill of Rights. By referring the Bill of Rights, judicial can take action on that. That's why judicial supremacy is present. And yes, there is a checks and balances. Okay, but judicial supremacy is present in the US. Okay. Now in the Indian model, our constitution follows mostly the American model rather than the English one. Okay. So this was all about in the perspective from the global perspective of the fundamental rights. We have referred the UK and the US. Okay. Now we will be going through the fundamental rights each in the coming sessions. Thank you.